And now we're just switching directly into the English weather briefing for Wednesday today. So welcome and good morning to everybody. We are positioned in a more stable situation than in the last days. And I have a good and I have a bad news. The good news are that we have breeze today. Better breeze than in the last days and more stable breeze. And this breeze picked up already in the second half of the night, a little bit earlier, but in this direction is fine. And the bad news is that the sun will fight more than expected yesterday. I expected a more sunnier day, but due to more clouds and a weather system in the south, I will just show you, we are in the situation that we have the breeze. And this is the better thing. So the weather situation, the synoptic situation, the actual, sees us just between two weather systems. One is a high-pressure system from Poland over South Sweden, Denmark, into the North Sea, and this high will stay also over there. And on the other side, we have a low-pressure system over the middle and the south of Germany. This is just sitting on the bottom of this picture. And this low just carries a very weak, kindly warm front. It's not very heavy, not very strong, but it's a kind of warm front, strong enough to make us something with the isobars, to make something to play with the wind direction if it plays with the isobars. And this is the reason why I mentioned it. This warm front is slowly moving during the day into the northwest, so it will not pass us directly, but stay in the south, will touch us a little bit, slipping alongside. And this is the synoptic situation I expect for the early afternoon, 1400 local time. If we go into the same situation, high pressure to the north, high pressure over Denmark, low pressure in the south, so no big changes, only the warm front, currently trough front, has moved more into the northwest. And in the next that is the situation of 2000 local time. You see that this front arrived in the German Bight, that's over here, and it will fall down. And if you look a little bit closer, then you realize maybe, hopefully, that I put an H into here, because the high pressure system tries to gain a little bit more strength again in the afternoon hours over Denmark, so to our east. And that means behind these weak warm front, the pressure will rise a little bit, and this makes a wind shift in the afternoon, a little bit of wind shift, 10-15 degrees. That is probably the only chance to get the bigger wind shift, as later in the day, as further right the wind wants to come. If we go into the satellite picture from over 1 hour before, you see the red cross, our position, and cloud-free areas over the North Sea, over Denmark, South Sweden. This is the high pressure over there. So the high is not very strong with 1021 hectopascal, but strong enough to keep the clouds away and to clear the sky. But we have on the other side the low pressure system just sitting with bright, very strong cloudiness and bright clouds over the middle and the east Germany, and within these low, the very weak warm front is sitting in. And if we go into, I wanted to show you this first, I want to show that first, because we now slipped into actual observations of wind and rain. The wind is within the wind arrows. These one all over Schleswig-Holstein, around of Kiel and northern Germany, we have already these northeasterly breeze ahead of these very weak warm front. And outside on Kiel Lighthouse, we have actually 50 degrees in the wind direction. Wind speed there measured in 30 meters height, 16 to 17, 18 knots. So I dropped a little bit down to our height. It's a 14 knots roundabout actually outside. We have this breeze just caused by this warm front. You see this colored areas. This is the rain within the warm front, but the rain stays in the south just to indicate this weak front. And this weak front will move in this direction, so it will only slip us. And probably it will stay dry, but the front sent these clouds outside. That's the reason why we will not see the sun as long as I hoped yesterday. So if we go from the observation into the forecast, this is the wind field from one of our 8 forecast models, and most of the models are very similar today with the scenario. So staying in the northeasterly breeze, 12, 13, 14 knots. We go into this with the races. If we slip into the into the 1400 local time, still northeast, still same speed, with a touch in the afternoon of a right-hand shift, and in the 1700 local time you see it more clearly with a right-hand shift, so these tend to the right will be as later the day, as more right the breeze should come. But for many hours it is pretty stable if we go into the 11 o'clock starting feature. This is the more probable scenario. I give you now still a second scenario, which is seen by our local model, which is in a 40 to 50 degree wind direction. That is fine, but the wind speed. The wind speed is today the largest uncertainty, so it can happen also on the backside in the afternoon, on the backside of the warm front, that the wind is falling down. So it's dropping a little bit, and then we are talking about 9 to 11 knots in wind speed. What I give you with this handout, the diagram, is the first scenario as I see it, as more probably. So if you see today in the afternoon coming the wind down, then we jumped into the second scenario, and the wind is playing with these both situations, but the wind direction and the right-hand shift is similar. So what I give you with this diagram, this is the first scenario with a stronger breeze, only for that you understand what I mean with it, talking about two scenarios. The weather else is mostly cloudy due to this weak warm front. If some raindrops, then very shortly go away. Most of the day it will stay dry, and the sun is fighting, and it should be successful in later afternoon, if in late afternoon, evening, that the sun will still come out. 2 to 3 hours of sun duration. The sea state is today an issue on both courses, inshore and offshore, with 0.3 building, 0.5, maybe partly 0.7 meters height, a little bit choppy sea. And the temperatures, nothing new, similar like the last days. I'm sorry about that. No high pressure system with really hot temperatures, high temperatures is approaching, but it's still okay for shorts, as I see here. And in this sense, in shorts and in everything, have good luck and have fun.